sir. I'm excited, man.
Where are you at?
so I come. So in the mornings, I normally come to the library just to get stuff done. So I'm
Oh,
at the library. I come in a little room just so I can get my business side stuff done.
yeah, I hear you. Which library?
Yes,
Where
sir.
are you at?
Center Point, and then
Center
sometimes I
Point's.
go to the one in Pinson.
Okay.
Yes,
Can't
sir.
can't beat a library. I go
Oh
there a
yeah.
lot. It keeps the distractions away.
oh yeah, most definitely.
Keeps them away. I'm at the trustful one so much, like
Hmm.
writing book stuff and whatnot, and I get more done there, and I'll sit there for 6 hours, and like I treat it like a work day.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll get
And
more done then.
it's a
Yeah,
vibe you get in the library. I don't know how
yeah,
to explain it. It's just a vibe that you get. Like I
yeah.
guess it's just that you're around a lot of information
That's it.
in
I
this
mean, like
library.
that's what I tell my wife. Like she doesn't quite understand it sometimes. I'm like, hey, I gotta, I can't take off work too much to go to the library, so like I'll go on the
Hmm.
weekends.
Yeah.
She's like, you've got a whole office that I'm sitting in right now. It's like you've got a whole office, all your stuff, like you're packing all your stuff up just to go to the library. And I'm like, yeah, it's different. Like if I'm up here, I'm like,
yeah.
I got a TV in the room. I've got other stuff in here I could work on. If I go there, I'm like, I'm staying
Yeah.
on what I need to stay on, you know?
Hmm. Yes, sir,
Man.
man.
So what's been going on with you?
Man, a lot, man. Getting the business off the ground. That's the main thing right now in the nonprofit. And just finding out
Yeah.
the ins and outs and what all I want to do, like things like that. But yeah, man, it's been exciting and also just getting ready to play ball again. That's been a cool experience.
Yeah. We'll
so
get into
yeah,
that. So what's the business? Is this the Laverne?
yeah, Laverne Wellness and Fitness, uh, LLC. So it is my dad' middle name was Laverne, so I kind of took that and ran with it. But
Okay.
yeah,
What
man.
So what are you trying to do with that business?
So really, just do what I've been doing. Honestly, the training, giving out scholarships. So what I'm working on right now is called the West Brothers Scholarship. So man, I don't know if you probably did see the article. You probably don't remember. Jeff Centel.
Yeah.
I know you remember Jeff. So Jeff Centel
Yeah.
did an article on my brother, and my brother played basketball at Hoover. But the West Brothers Scholarship is just going to be helping mothers or fathers who lost a spouse with financial financial standings as far as
Yeah.
sports. So if a kid has a fee that they can't afford, we'll help them. If they lost their parent and they have a fee that they can't afford, we'll help them out. So it'll be the West Brothers Scholarship.
Man, that's cool. How far
Yeah.
along are you in that journey?
So I figured out I had to do a LLC first, then I can come back and do the nonprofit. So I'm almost done with my LLC, and then I'll move on to the nonprofit process. But
Wow.
it's been it's been a cool.
Are you like learning all that and doing it yourself, or you got someone helping
Yeah,
you out, or what?
yeah. I got someone helping me out, and then I'm not the type of person that pays somebody to do something. I'd rather figure it out right
Yes,
now.
sir.
Maybe later down the road if I got the capital to do it. But I still would like to. I like to figure stuff out and
Yep.
then I pay. Like I love to. I change brakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now I probably don't have time to change brakes, but I need to know how to do it. You know.
That's it. That's it. I had I'm not going to mention his name and he won't watch this anyway. But when I was in college, you talking about
Hmm.
learning to do stuff yourself. There was a guy I knew in college and he had clearly not learned how to do some functional things himself.
Hmm.
And he went out to the parking lot one day. This is in Tuscaloosa. He's
Hmm.
in out in the dorm parking lot one day, walks out there, realizes one of his tires is flat, right?
Mm. Hmm.
So I was rooming with him. He comes to me and he's like, "Hey, can you help?" And I'm like, "Sure,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Where's your jack? Is it?" And he was like, "The what?" And I was like, I was like,
Yeah, he
Jack,
got
like,
problems.
we gotta lift it up, get the tire off. He's like, oh, and I was like, just open your trunk. And so I find it, and he asked me this question. I can't believe I'm telling this. Yeah, he won't watch this, but literally, he asked me, does he have to crank the car for us to change the tire? And I was just like, no, like I would prefer you leave it off. Like,
Yeah,
no.
most
So
definitely.
just yeah, learn to do it yourself
Yeah,
first, and
most
then
definitely.
hey, like you said, then when you've got the capital, when you're in a good spot, and you can pay for the things
Hmm.
that you don't need to put your time into. That's the time to pay,
Yes, sir, man. Yes,
man.
sir.
So what's the league? You're getting back into playing again. What?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So it's called the IFA, International Football Alliance League, and I
Okay.
believe right now it's
So,
it's four teams in America and one team in Mexico. I know our first game we go to Mexico, which I'm trying to get my whole family to come because we play on July the 5th. So if we can spend July 4th in Mexico as a family, that'll be dope. But
whoa.
it's been around, so he's been talking about it. Jason Adams, he runs everything. He's been talking about it for about 4 or 5 years. And last year we actually was gonna play, but I think he made a great move and kind of pushed things back to this year so they can build
Yeah.
more capital and be more organized. But man, it's a lot of cool stuff going on with that because
Yeah.
it's like so you got the CFL, you know how you have
Yep.
only so many Americans, only so many
Hmm.
Canadians. So it's split like that. Only so many Mexicans, Hispanics, or people from
Yeah.
Mexico, and then so many people from America. And then you got international players. Like I know they
Well,
signed a kicker from Germany or something. It's crazy. It's crazy. I know they got a team in Huntsville, and I'll shoot you that information. So a team in Huntsville, they're gonna play at is it Joe Davis? What's this big stadium in Huntsville? I think
um, I
I
think
can't
it's
think
Joe.
of the
I
name.
think it is Joe Davis.
Yeah, Joe Davis. So that's where they're gonna play their games, and they'll be housed. They'll house us. They'll give us meals, and man, it's just cool to see the opportunity that leagues like that present. Because you got to think,
Yeah.
man, you got people who gonna have to clean the stadium. That's a job for people. You got people who working at the concession stand. That's another job. Guys who gonna work the parking lot. So just think, like people don't realize how many opportunities sports creates. It
Yep.
creates so many opportunities. Like doing what you do, you guys have a career. You got to give
Yep.
out the news because that's what people want to see. But the avenues that it opens with sports is amazing.
Yeah. So is that the team that you're a part of? The
So
Huntsville team?
the team I'm playing for would be the Ohio Ironman, and it's located. So
I
we'll
see.
play in West Virginia.
I see
We'll play
that.
in
The
West Virginia.
Ohio Valley Ironman.
Ironman. Hmm.
That I'm looking over here on another screen at the logos for these teams, and you're on the team with the best logo. The the something about the Alabama Beavers just doesn't really strike fear into me, but the Ohio Valley Ironman and that logo looks pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, and it's a bunch of legendary coaches like Art Browse. How mommy is coaching. Yeah, man. It's some
Really?
cool stuff going
Whoa!
on.
So like, are they coaching? They're part of your team?
No, they're not part of my team. They have their own, they're coaching their
Okay.
own team. Yeah, man. And like I said, it's a lot of even in the other league I was in, the fan control league, just seeing like we had guys who coached for Dallas Cowboys who won like 3 Super Bowl rings, and just getting the information from them guys, man, was just it was exciting, and that's why I still feel like I got 4 to 5 more years, 4 to 5 more years to play because I'm young and I don't have kids right now, so I don't have really too many obligations, man, and just live it out. And I think
Yeah.
it's good to show kids that there's other opportunities out here. You don't have
Yep.
to just go to the NFL, man. You can be proud of yourself, go somewhere else and play if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to play, then just go on about your life and live your life. But if you
Mhm.
do want to play, man, there's nothing wrong with playing arena football. If you love the game, just
That's
go
it.
play.
That's it. Yeah, I'm looking like it looks like they're you said International Football Alliance, right?
Yep, IFA.
I'm looking at it looks like 6 teams, like one in Dallas, San
Yep.
Antonio.
hmm
I see the team in Mexico. Is this literally pronounced Chihuahua like the dog?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The the Tampa Tornadoes,
Uh-huh.
God, the Alabama Beavers,
Yeah.
and and the Ohio Valley Ironmen.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
cool. So this
Yeah.
is like a brand new thing, or they?
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Okay.
I believe he had a different lead, and I think COVID kind of you know how a lot of stuff went out. So I think
Yeah.
COVID messed it up, and he just rebranched and rebranded and coming up with this.
This is cool, man.
Yeah,
So like
man.
how did you get to be a part of that team? I'm reading about like draft combine, tryout, stuff like that. Like was there a
It,
draft or what?
so they're having a draft in March. I'm not sure what the date is, but it'll
Oh, there
be in
it is.
Huntsville. It'll be in
March tw-
Huntsville.
yeah, March 21st and 22nd at the Weston Hotel in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yep, yep. So that's where it'll be at. But how I got connected with this team was the owner and the head coach. He was my coach in the FCF. So that's what guys got to
Okay.
understand, man. You go to Arena League, you never know. The owner brother might be the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. You never, you know what I'm saying? You never know the
Yeah,
connections.
that's
So
man.
that's why I tell these guys, man, don't turn down opportunities. If you still want to play, man, go at it. Because even in the FCF, Terrell Owens was my teammate.
That's crazy. Like that. Terrell Owens,
Yes. Yeah, you
Benjamin
can't make
Russell,
it up,
Terrell
man.
Owens.
And
Man,
you see him, I think he was 50 at the time. You see him, you like, I see why he was that good. Like, dude, not iron. Like, he can move, man. And he
yeah.
look good. Like, he can be a four-string receiver on the NFL team right now.
That's so. Wait, when he was 50, then when you played in the fan controlled, how old were you then?
I was 26. I was 26.
So you were half his age, and he was still going.
Yeah, man.
Gosh, dude, that's awesome. What's what's training been like preparing for this?
So I do a lot of functional stuff now. Not too much in the weight room. So I do a lot of Pilates. I posted most of my time. My guy M3, Kenny is in Trustville, and I
Oh,
do a lot
Kenny.
of functional. That's what honestly got me back to playing because I had my knee injuries or whatever. But he does assessments on me, get everything going so I can figure out, hey, you're not firing your hamstrings or you're not firing your glutes. That's why you're having knee problems. So getting those things, and then just another thing, just growing up and learning about dieting, knowing about your diet, knowing what you put in your body. That's been another big thing for me.
Oh yeah.
So yes, sir.
I get that. Like I try to hide it when I have these podcasts, but like all my supplements, like every single thing
Yeah.
is I just I mean
Yes,
there's
sir.
stacks of stuff in there. It's
Yes,
important.
sir.
Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
like I wish I would have learned it younger and not in my
Yeah.
mid 30s, but I know it now and you know I can tell a difference. You know, there are certain
Oh yeah.
things that you know even in my 20s felt worse than they do now in my 30s. Like I feel better in some aspects because of the things I'm doing now, even though I'm older and maybe a little less active in some ways, and just feel better, you know. Just you got to keep moving.
And I think the big thing is people say all the time, technology, it got its pros and cons, but we getting a lot of information through technology, man. Like we
Yeah,
getting a lot. And I tell people it might sound crazy right now, but I think the life expectancies will raise. I think
yeah,
people will be living longer just because we got more information. And like we said, you eating better, you exercising more. So I wouldn't be surprised if like in 20 years from now, it goes up. Just because we know how to take care of our
yeah.
body. So
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. Like it's crazy. Like I guess I'll say the name of the place. Like I get these supplements from a
hmm
company called Heart and Soil. I don't know if you've heard
hmm
of it. And
Okay.
they get it's all you know pasture raised, grass fed, all those things from from New Zealand. And
Mm.
basically, what it equates to is I take like a certain number of these capsules, pills, whatever, supplements every day, and it's the equivalent of having like, okay, there's a bunch of stuff crushed up in this gel cap now.
Mhm.
Like it's like beef liver, beef
Mm.
organs, and all that kind of stuff that
Mm.
you that
Hmm.
you that you don't want to actually eat, but you're getting the equivalent of about three
In the
ounces
pill
of it
form.
of it a
Mm.
day. And I take that every single day, and I've been doing it for like a year now. And it's
Mm.
I
Mm.
can tell the difference, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely, man. Most definitely. That's
Yeah.
what's up.
Are you coaching anymore, or is it pretty much a lot of like training and stuff? I see
So
your stuff posted.
I actually been coaching. So I've been coaching 7-on-7 for 10 years.
Mhm.
So Jalen and Bakway, all them guys were my first team that we had, which is I'm with PME, Playmakers Elite. And yeah, my trainer when I was in high school, my senior year, he just decided he wanted to do a 7-on-7. So we actually did the first 7-on-7 in Birmingham. And like I said, Jalen was there. It was a couple more guys that played throughout the city. Trey Darn at Hoover, he was out
Yeah.
there. So it was a couple of those guys that, and like I said, I've been coaching for 10 years. It sounds crazy. I'm 27.
Well, you got started you hit the ground in everything young,
Yeah,
right?
most definitely.
So the 20, we're going to go back in time. We got to go glory days, um, but 14, that was your senior year, yeah?
Yeah, 14 was my senior year.
So I
Yes, sir.
started seeing you on the field probably 2012 season, that
Yeah,
sophomore year,
yeah,
something
that was
like
my
that.
sophomore year. That was my sophomore year.
How were you that good as a sophomore?
I was I would credit it to being, and this was I tell the kids that I train now, like go outside, man. People ask me what can I do to get faster? Go get a bike. Go get a bike and
Yes.
push that bike and ride that bike, ride up the hills. That's how you
Yep.
get stronger. So I did a lot of that, and basketball was accredited to it too, because it just helped me change the directions, understanding body angles and things like that. Because I played varsity ninth and 10th grade year basketball. I didn't play
Yep.
varsity ninth grade year football, but I played varsity ninth and 10th grade year basketball. So I was able to, as you would say, the game speed in football and basketball kind of helped me out with the game speed in football in a sense. So I wasn't scared of the guys that was bigger than me because we played some dudes in basketball. Like Gaston City had some guys, so I wasn't intimidated about playing. Because I honestly, and it wasn't a big thing back then. I honestly felt like I could have played ninth grade. I could have played varsity ninth grade football, but
Yeah.
it just wasn't a thing at Clay then. Like you wasn't gonna come in as a freshman and play football. Like especially I was 140. You know what I'm saying? Like Coach Hood
Dang.
would put me out
No, no, if you couldn't outrun those guys, he'd have gotten you hurt.
there.
Plus, who was the back? Was it Sidney Battle?
Oh
Was he
yeah,
the
oh yeah,
Okay,
man.
yeah.
We
He
had some
he was he
guys.
wasn't 140.
Mm. And then we had Darren Reed's little brother my ninth grade year.
Marcus,
DeMar.
yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. So we had some guys. Katerius Gray. We had a lot of
Oh
guys,
yeah.
man.
He was a bowling ball. I remember
Yeah,
him.
yes, sir, man.
Those teams were crazy.
Oh yeah,
I
oh yeah.
remember. I don't remember the game, but I think when you kind of were. It was easy to get on anybody's radar when you average like 9 yards a carry as a sophomore. That's just kind of like, okay, this dude can play. But for me, it was, and it's funny how things are full circle. Like, I guess it was your sophomore year.
Mhm,
After one of those games, I know it was a bit. I know this happens probably at every school, but I saw Clay probably the most. Clay, Hewitt, Trussville, Pinson Valley, our little corner of the county. But
mhm.
but I remember after a game seeing you like tote a bunch of chairs in, right?
Yeah.
And I know that's a thing after the games, but like, was that something you take upon yourself, or you did Coach Hood
So
assign that to you, or what?
So the crazy thing was, and that's just a Clay, and I think sports. I think it's a Clay thing and a sports thing. The younger guys always clean off the field, and
Yeah,
they're just teaching responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
that's it.
And it had got to a point like midway through the season, I was having success, and they'll be like, "Yeah, you just go on in." But I'm like, my other teammates got to clean up, so I just went ahead and did it. Shout out to Coach Coleman, Coach Coleman, Coach Curtis Coleman, gonna make sure that sideline get cleaned up.
That's
But yeah,
right.
like I mean, it's only right. You know what I'm saying? My the guys that I'm gonna graduate with is doing it, and the guys that I played freshman football with is doing it. So why wouldn't I do it? Just
Exactly.
because I'm scoring a couple touchdowns don't mean anything special or different. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
it.
Like I even saw. I think this was last year.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the game, but Coach Hood was there, and he's the head coach at Leeds now. And I think by this time this might have been this was the maybe the Parker game, maybe that
I know
semifinal
exactly what you.
game.
I know exactly what
And
you're
then
talking.
I saw Coach Hood out there picking up the chairs, and I went up to him and I was like, "You don't even work here anymore." What I was like, and the field's named after you. So someone will
Yeah.
do this for you,
Mm-hmm.
but still leading by example.
Yeah, man, and exactly what you said. Just leading by example. And once he did it, a couple guys that I played with, we all just went out there and started doing it. So that's what he taught us, man. He taught us a lot, and I think I knew then what he was teaching us, just because I was just so much more mature. But I think the guys now, like we still talk now. I think we all like, man, he taught us a lot. He was hard on us, but he taught us a lot, and he was getting us prepared for life. Like certain things you just couldn't do because it was the standard at Clay. And I think it's always been a standard at Clay. That's when you have success. Because when you got your best players, which I'm not saying I was the best player on that team, but when you got players
Sure,
that having success, when he's out there picking up the chairs, then nobody else, you can't be another guy and be like, no, I'm not gonna do it. You gotta go
that's
out
right.
there and do it, man. We just a family and we gotta take care of things.
Yeah,
So
it would be hard to pick a best player on one of those teams. Like
yeah, man, it's crazy.
I mean, I guess now if you if you just say on that team for that season, whatever. I mean, it's hard to say, but if you were going to say who turned out the best, I mean, I guess you got to go Nico.
Yeah,
But
most definitely. Most
he's a Pro Bowler. But it's,
definitely.
I mean, we had I had just posted that picture. I saw you posted it. That was crazy thinking about that game, that Scottsboro game,
Hmm.
85-50.
Yeah.
Was that was that? I'm trying to remember. Was that early playoffs? Was that before your
I,
injury or
I think it
after?
was the first. I think that might have been the first round. I think
First
that because I
round.
think that was the fourth
That's right.
seed.
Four
Yeah, I think
seed
that was the
coming to
fourth seed.
y'all.
Hmm.
Okay, so you were still. I can't
Yeah.
remember the game you tore your ACL.
Muscle shows.
Okay, so
Muscle shows. Yeah.
that was either second
Second
round or
round.
quarters. Okay,
Yeah, second round. Yep.
what do you remember about that play?
Ah, I was excited, man, because I had it was first quarter. I had two touchdowns already, and it was a long run. I tried to jab back in and go out. I think the guy pulled me from behind, and that's what my cleat got stuck in the ground.
Yeah,
So that's what happened. It really was a non-contact because before he grabbed me, I think it went out then. I think it went out and then he grabbed me, and that's what everything else just tore. So I think I tore my ACL right there, and everything else tore when he pulled me from behind.
jeez.
But
Did they have the turf at Muscle Shoals then, or was it grass?
so we was at Clay. We was at Clay. So the first
Oh,
two games we
oh,
had,
I thought you. Okay, that's right. It was
yep,
second round, not quarters.
mm-hmm,
Got you. Got you.
yep. And then I think we
Wow.
went to Decatur the third round.
Decatur
Yep.
was the travel. Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting those northern schools and the rounds mixed up. It's been 11 years, and I'm an
Yeah,
old
man.
man now.
It's crazy how it's coming to me, how I remember all this stuff. It's crazy.
Man. So there's always the debate about these Clay-Chalkville teams. You're kind of a pot stirrer. You're kind of you're kind of a ringleader. 99,
Uh-huh.
14,
Yeah,
21 and 23. Who
yeah.
who who's the best one?
I gotta go with my guys. Man. I gotta go with 14, man. Cause you think about it, man. We just had so much talent. And what I tell people all the time, when Nico got really good, I wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
When Nico started balling, like balling out of control, that's when.
Hmm.
Because when I went down the third round, he had a crazy game, and then the fourth round against Florence, he had a game too. And then the championship, he did what he did. So once he finally got it and cut it on, I feel like I wasn't playing it because that's when I got hurt. And then we
Yeah.
had other guys step up too, man. And just to think, like scheme, we can play with any scheme or we can play any style
Oh
of
yeah.
ball. We can go back to '99 and we can play physical ball, or we can play up to date. Because if we played up to date, he could really move me to slot receiver. He can move TJ to slot receiver, and we still can run our tight end stuff. So it's just, and then we had Artavius, and then AJ number 5. So we had some guys, and we
That's
still had
crazy.
guys on the bench. Like it was crazy, man.
Those teams, like, I mean, you maybe you know it while it's happening because y'all were beating the crap out of a lot of people, but you don't quite realize it until later just how deep and how many guys and just quite how good. And
Hmm.
that's what's been really hitting me these last few years when I think back on a bunch of teams that I've covered and a bunch of guys that I've covered, and I'm just like that 14, 15, especially
Yeah,
15 as well, even though they
yeah,
didn't get the map. I mean, both those teams were, I mean,
yeah,
just lights out. So I didn't play there, so I don't have to get in trouble with the pot being stirred. But if I was ranking all four of
yeah,
them, and I'll hear from Coach Floyd on this. Hopefully, I won't hear from Coach Riddle. But I would if I was putting the four in order,
yeah.
I would 2014.
Hmm.
Then I would go 2023,
Yeah.
and then I would
I don't know.
probably that the 3-4 I could kind of flip back and forth. I might go 21 and then 99.
So I'm gonna go 14, 21, 23, and I
Were you
can't
on that? Were
say.
you on that 21 staff?
Yeah, I was on the 20. So you got to think. We had Squirrel, we
Yeah.
had Bob, Mario Craver, like
And
Ed,
in 21, what was Bach playing? Was he just playing receiver, or was he
receiver.
going?
Yeah, he was just playing receiver. So he played a little corner too because we
That's
would
crazy.
we had packages where we would put, and this is what we did Pensa game. We put Squirrel at safety, we put Bach at corner. So that's just
Good luck.
and the thing I would say with our team against that team is they were kind of smaller up front. And
Hmm.
it's crazy the way that the style of play is changing because for the past few years, defense has been the strong suit of Clay football, and it
Yeah.
normally was offense. I think they've been giving up like 20 points a game or maybe less, 14 or something like that.
The last few
And
years,
mhm, it's been
probably like
crazy though.
probably like 9 or 10.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
So
been
you see what
low.
I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And we had great defenses, but I think the scheme is fitting best for the players that they have now. I think they're
Yeah.
doing a great job with coaching what they got because they don't have the big guys, but they play fast and shoot gaps and things like that.
Yeah. Who's the best running back in Clay-Chalkville history?
My guy's Darren.
Darren Reeves.
Darren, yeah.
Hard to
Yeah,
go
that's my
against him.
guy, man. He
You know,
started he started everything, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, from what
yeah.
I've seen. I know it's been a couple more guys. I think it's Terrell Smith. He was a bat that played for us.
I
DJ
played.
Vincent.
He's about my age. I
Okay,
played park baseball against Terrell Smith.
gotcha. Yeah, so
Athlete.
I'm big on history. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on history. I would when I found Coach, I bet Coach Floyd gonna get mad at it. When I found their highlight videos, I went berserk. Like it's still on YouTube. I went berserk because I would always tell him, "I'm just one better than you." Because he's number 11, I'm number 12. I'm like, I'm just one better than you, dude. Like, I'm just...
That's
So
so
yeah,
good.
man. Yeah, we had some fun times. But like I said, I love that history and just knowing
Yeah.
who all came through and the great guys, man. So, and that's
Well,
really why I do those arguments. You know what I'm saying, on
it's
Facebook, just to
fun,
get
yeah.
everybody, yeah,
And you
just to
don't
get it.
for yeah, it's for fun. You keep the conversation going. You keep memories alive, and you keep in touch with people more than anything. You know,
Most definitely.
it's awesome. Uh, and the crazy thing is Clay-Chalkville, like that. That's what I love history, but like what kills me about Clay-Chalkville's history is it's not very old. I mean, it's
Nah,
1996, and you're like
exactly.
four state titles in 20 was that 29 years,
hmm
like.
That's
And
insane.
I mean, like, I think I was looking not long ago, like Clay Chalkville still doesn't have not quite to 300 wins in school history yet.
hmm
But if you look at like the all-time wins list and some of these schools that are below them in total wins, it's like their programs have been around since like 1971
Yeah,
and stuff like this. And
most
and the
definitely.
and, and the only school on that all-time wins list, like if you just sort it by number of wins,
hmm
the only school that has a higher winning percentage, and this includes the 2011 fiasco with forfeiting the 9 wins.
Yeah,
Uh, the only school with a higher win percentage is Hoover.
mm,
In all
that's insane.
classifications, in all
That's insane.
classifications in the entire state, it's Hoover then Clay Chalkville.
That's insane, man. That's
Crazy. It's like
insane.
I forget the number. It's like Hoover's like 74.2% or something,
hmm
and I think y'all are maybe like 73 point something. Like
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
yeah, that's
Absolutely.
great. That's
So
crazy.
so I can't ask the best wide receiver because I mean, like no disrespect to TJ, but it's probably Nico. But
See, if we talking about high school, I love
okay,
Nico
if
to
it, if
death.
it's high school, I would
I
go
gotta go
TJ.
Brian. I gotta go Brian
Oh,
Clark.
Brian Clark was crazy. People
Because
forget people forget
yeah,
about Brian.
Brian is like a mixture. If you think about it, he's like a mixture of TJ and Nico. If you
Yeah,
think about it, because Nico then he wasn't a big after the catch guy. He'll
yeah.
run past you, but TJ was more after the catch. But Brian had like that mixture, man. Like Brian, I never seen him and Nico, two guys I never seen drop a pass. And I tell them all the time, like, don't shake my hand because they got like 4X size gloves. So every time I see Nico, I'm like, "What's up, man?" Like, bro,
Uh, I
he
hope.
the one that
I
grab
hope.
your hands like this. I'm like, dude, no, he can't shake my
My
hand.
gosh. Well, okay. So that one's a little easier. So how about? I think this one's well. I don't know. Every time I think one might be kind of easy, then you go down that
Yeah.
conversation. But we'll just stick with offense. Just that signal caller position. Who's the best quarterback? You can get in some trouble with this one.
Yeah, man. So I gotta go pig, man.
You have to.
Yeah, I gotta, and that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, my guy too. And I didn't
Yep.
get to play with Jake, but Jake was a dog too. And
Jake
there's
was
a
great.
couple more guys that I'm starting to hear about now. I can't think of his name. God, somebody told me his name. I can't think of
Oh,
his name.
Jesse Carroll.
Uh, yes, I've heard him. Coach Floyd, I'm sorry.
Sorry. That's what I joke with Coach Floyd about is yes, you were the quarterback, but you made all state that year as a punter. So like you're a punter.
Yeah, man.
Just playing, coach. He he was the QB. They won it
Yes,
all.
sir.
They got on a hot streak. They had I forget the running back on that team that was so good. That 99 team. Damon something maybe? I forget.
I think I
Yeah, I
know
don't
what you're
know.
talking about. Yeah.
I can't remember. I'd have to look it all up. Um, so I just kind of want to talk about work ethic for a minute.
Mhm.
Like, where just your whole life, your whole career, all those things. Like, where does that come from? Because you seem like a guy that's always after it.
Yeah, so I would credit that to being a coach's son. You know, coach's son. I think it's starting to talk more now. We starting to hear that more now. But just to see my dad, like, and the guys he coached, like I throw some names out there. You gonna be like, what? Yeah, Marquise Mays. like
Oh
DeMarcus
yeah.
Cousins, like a lot. It's a lot more
Jeez.
guys, man. And it's guys that connected. You know what I'm saying? Like Ricky that
Yeah.
goes to Tennessee.
Gibson. Yeah.
My dad coached his dad. So like just seeing
Wow.
them guys work and just being around the gym. They used to have a saying called gym rat. You at the gym all day, so that's what I credited it to. And man, yeah, and having that basketball background, the basketball background, you just tired, like you just running up and down the court. And transitioning that to football was helpful. That's why I say a lot of kids need to play basketball because you get that endurance, man. Because you got to play while you're tired. You
Yeah.
have to play while you're tired. So
Yeah.
I would credit it to that, just being around, being a coach's son, being around the gym. Everything we did was dealing with sports. Like the whole family will go to the YMCA together and just stuff like that.
Yeah. Where all did your dad coach? Like, if he coached Marquise Mays, was this at like Tarrant, or was this like when he was like littler?
So that was travel ball. So travel
Travel ball.
ball with the Raptors, yeah. So DeMarcus Cousins, I think that was his ninth grade year. He played with my
Uh,
dad. And then Stanley Robinson that went to UConn,
yeah.
Walter Ford.
He was my graduating class. I got to see him play Hewitt Trustful a lot.
Yeah, so he had a lot of influence because man, it's like I said, I got so much history. So my dad was at Huffman while Coach Hood was the head football coach. Well, he wasn't the head football coach. He was coaching at Huffman and Coach Coleman. So
Yep.
both of them were in the building with my dad. Like it's just insane, all the just history that.
Connections, man.
And actually, so the craziest thing is, my dad was actually gonna come coach at Clay. So I don't
Really?
know if you remember when Marty Smith was about to get the
Yeah.
job. I think he had the job for like 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
all the details.
Yeah, me either.
I
Coaching
don't know all
stuff,
the
yeah.
details, but he was gonna come to Clay and coach there. So I think they went to go visit the school, and my dad had my mom with him. So my mom was looking around, and then when it came time to me go to high school, I think that was just in the back of her mind, like I want to take my kids to Clay. So that was big on her thing. Like you going to Clay. I was like, I don't even know what Clay is. I don't want to go to Clay. She's like, you going to Clay. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Where were you before that then? Were you in Huffman or?
So I'm a lot older, so I won't get in trouble now. So I was at Glen Iris.
Okay, yeah.
So I was getting recruited in. I was getting recruited in. So guys wanted me. So I told you I was a basketball player. Like I
Yeah.
played AAU, I was a basketball player. So I actually was gonna go to Parker.
Okay.
So I was
Okay.
gonna go to Parker. And like I said, we not I'm older now. I'm not gonna get in trouble. They gave my job. They gave my stepdad
Is statute of limitations are up.
they gave my stepdad a job coaching basketball at Parker. So like I told you, man, I got stories, man.
Oh
Like
my gosh. Well, and people will hear that and be like there will be like some like type of crowd that hears that and they're gonna go,
hmm
"What? That's crazy!" And then there will be the
Yep.
crowd that goes, "This is happening at every school all over the state across multiple
Oh
sports.
yeah, man.
We all know
It's
it's
been going.
happening.
It's
It's
been going on.
everywhere."
Yeah, because and then with Hoover, my brother went to Hoover, so they wanted me to come over there as well. So it was just a lot. But I think my mom just had it set in stone, like you going to Clay, man. No matter what, no matter who called, you going to Clay. So that's what that's what started everything.
Man, it worked out.
Oh yeah, most definitely,
It was definitely
most
worked out.
definitely.
I saw something, and we'll start to kind of wrap with this. You tell me as much as you want to. I was on Instagram, I think, and
Uh-huh.
it was not long ago, maybe a week or two ago, and there
hmm
was a post you had, and it was when you were at Middle Tennessee State. Picture running the ball, and the caption part of it said, "My love for this game can't be measured." And you said where you went to practice or when you went to
Yeah,
practice.
yeah, yeah,
Can you tell me a little more about your dad if you tell
yeah.
me what you want to
So
tell?
yeah, so I think my dad funeral may have been on a Wednesday or Tuesday. and I was just programmed to be an athlete. You know what I'm saying? And that was my love. And it always was my escape. We talked about this
Yeah.
before. It was
Yeah.
my escape. So I did go to football practice after my dad's funeral. Because, and now that I look back at it, as a mature adult, I'm like, man, you did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You do want to acknowledge that you had some hurt and pain, but you don't want to suffer. It's a difference between pain and suffering. You're choosing to suffer. Pain is something that everybody has to have. But I could have been like, no, I'm not gonna play sports no more because I lost my dad. But like that year was big. That's when I turned because I was always number 5, and my dad number was number 12. So I turned to number 12, and that was just a big year for me, just mentally. You know what I'm saying? Mentally. But
Yeah.
yeah, that I did do that. I went to my dad funeral, and then later on the day I went to football practice. And I wanted to be around my friends, you know what I'm saying? A
Oh
lot
yeah.
of people a lot of people I was around hadn't experienced that thing. So I just wanted to kind of get back to something normal.
Yep.
Like like I said, now I don't think I rushed it. I think I should have talked about it a bit more, and I should have went to more counseling because it would always be, all right, you got football practice or counseling. All right, which one are you gonna choose? I'm gonna choose football practice. Like, but
Yeah.
I should have took a step back, and I think me and my mom talk about it now. We just didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's big what's going on now. A lot of mental health stuff because I always used to say I wanted my major to be sports psychology. So and I think that's a big aspect when kids get in trouble with not having success on the field. So yeah, that was just a time, man. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get back to something normal because I was doing a lot of things that a 9-year-old shouldn't have to do. Like I had to go to the police department, I had to go to the interrogation room, I had to pick out like, do I know this person? Do you know him? Have you ever seen him? And so the night that it happened, well, that morning, I talked to my dad and I was like, he was like, I'm gonna come get you in the morning or whatever. And I woke up. My mom said, "Come here, Terelle," and I was like, "What's going on?" I just seen her crying. I'm like, "What's going on?" And she was like, "Your dad died. He got killed." I'm like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "What?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, "You lying?" I went to go lay back down, but I couldn't cipher. I couldn't digest it. At that, I'm
Yeah.
9 years old.
9 years
I don't
old.
have much experience about death, right? At that age.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
man.
yeah, man. Yes,
That's
sir.
that's great. Did they ever figure out
Nah,
who?
it's still an unsolved murder. So
Gee.
we are not.
And
It's been.
you were
I was
9?
9. Yep, I was
So
9.
that's what? That's been what,
Like
like
18, maybe
18
19.
years?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, man, and it just made me grow up faster, and I read a lot now. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough to say, but that was what God had planned for us. Like we can't. We all have. Yeah, I would have loved for him to be here and with me, but that was God plan. We can't control it. So just learning more about that, understanding the meaning, and just little things like my name. Like my name is Reaper of the Harvest, right? My dad planted a lot of seeds, and I'm reaping what he sowed. So
Boom.
just yep. So just
What do you
learning
like?
more and more.
What do you like to read?
I've read a lot of Napoleon Hill. I don't know if you're familiar with Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Hill?
So it's a lot
I've
of
seen that.
mindset thing. Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
mindset thing because in school I hated reading. You know what I'm saying?
I
And I
understand.
love English though. I love English and literature.
Nope.
Literature would
Yeah.
always get me in learning about Macbeth and all them guys, man. So I was always interested. That always caught my attention. But
Yeah.
like everything else, I really went
Man,
into it.
and you,
But
hey, Think and Grow Rich, that book came out in 1937. You're
you know what I'm
reading
saying?
you're reading
Yeah.
some old
Oh
good
yeah,
stuff
man.
now.
Oh yeah,
That's
man. So he studied Andrew Carnegie. Andrew
Yep,
Carnegie was the richest man ever, and he gave all his money away. So I love to study people like that, and we can go on and on about
dude. That's good
that.
stuff, man. Cause I
Yeah.
like I'm big into I mean, now. I've said this. I've done one of these interviews that was actually with my eighth grade English teacher, but
Hmm.
the interview was she was a golf coach. She's won state titles. She owns a golf course, so we were doing kind of the golf thing, and
Hmm.
we had to talk about reading and writing because she was my English teacher, and so I had Shakespeare in her class, and I was like, look. I just got to
Yeah.
tell you. I told her, I said, I just got to tell you, I hate Shakespeare. She was like, "How could you say that?" I was like, with a smile on my face, "I hate Shakespeare. Like I can't." I was like, "I can't do it." I was
Yeah.
like, "I understand, like kind of like you said, you hate reading in school, and like I didn't like it much either. But like to me, I get there's a curriculum, and you have to
Hmm.
go by that curriculum. But I've found so many things like post high school, post college that are kind of that high school reading level, coming of age, that kind of deal that we didn't read, and I'm like, this would have been fascinating and connected more with me and only fostered more of a love of reading if we had done it then.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like, it's the curriculum kind of was what it
Yeah.
was. Like, we had to read, like everybody has to read, like the example I use the most is John Steinbeck, where everybody has to read Grapes of Wrath, right?
Hmm.
And I haven't read it in a long time, but I remember not being super interested. But
Hmm.
then sometime maybe in college or right after college, I was still young 20s. He has another book, Travels with Charlie, and it's more adventure and American exploration. And he takes a road
Hmm.
trip across America with his dog, Charlie, and basically tells everything he learns about America kind of during the 60s and 70s. So you've got kind of Vietnam War era, you've got civil rights kind of
Hmm.
stuff, and
Hmm.
kind of just talking to everyday people. And I'm like, man, I could have learned so much more from
Yeah.
not just an English or reading standpoint, but from a social sciences, psychology standpoint
Understand.
as
Hmm.
well. Like, put that on the curriculum.
Yeah. Most definitely.
I don't
Most
know.
definitely.
Well, we'll wrap this thing up. You got to get back to work. Where should people follow all the things? How do they follow Laverne? How they keep up with football this summer? All that.
So let me make sure I'm telling them the right thing. All right, Terrell
Yeah.
West underscore on Instagram. So TerelleWest underscore. And then Facebook, just my name, Terrell West. And I think Twitter is Terrell West underscore. So same thing.
Okay.
And that's my Facebook and Twitter.
Got you. So they can follow you there.
Hmm.
You have a page up for Laverne yet, or is that in the
Yeah, yeah,
works?
yeah, yeah. I do. I do. Let me go to it.
I think I saw it on Facebook, right?
Yeah, and it's on Instagram as well.
Oh, it's on Instagram too. Well, I'm not
Hmm.
following that. I don't think.
And,
So I
and like
need
I
to.
said, I got two pages, and I'll tell you and I gotta change the name. So Laverne Fitness.
Oh, I
So
see that.
Laverne underscore fitness.
Got it. I
And
see.
so like I was saying, the LLC and the nonprofit has to be two different entities. So
That's right.
one would be why I train. Cause like I'm last year I trained Huffman for speed. I'm gonna train him this year again. So that'll be with Laverne Fitness, and then the nonprofit would be Laverne Wellness and Fitness. Just learning how all that stuff work. Crazy how.
It's a lot. I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I've been part of a nonprofit startup, and it's wild how much goes into it.
Oh yeah, man. Oh
I
yeah.
get it. Well, I appreciate you
Oh yeah.
doing this and
Yes,
getting to
sir,
catch up a
man.
little bit, man.
Yeah, this won't be the last time, man. We'll be back on here again.
We'll be back
You
on
know,
here again.
I think you may have been the first guy who interviewed me. I think my 10th
Probably,
grade. Yeah, you might have been
probably. Those
after the
were
Penson game. After the Penson
probably
game, that's what I think.
Probably so, because
Hmm.
I remember there was a lot of firsts back then, like especially for me, covering stuff. But it was kind of the start of a lot of success out there for Clay and
Hmm.
multiple things. Like I think, like you said, I think I was your first interview. I think I can say the same for Matthew Calvert with baseball.
Hmm.
I
Probably
mean,
Hassan
huh?
Abdul, Hassan basketball player.
Hassan
Yeah,
Abdullah,
yeah.
yeah. It was hard getting some words out of him now. had to had to
Yeah.
had to get him talking, But yeah, those were good times, man. Clay is still one of my absolute favorite places to
Oh yeah,
write
man.
to write anything. It's just
Yes,
it's a
sir.
great it's a good place.
Yes, sir, man. Like I said, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me, man. This was
Yeah,
fun, and like I said, it won't be last. I still got so many
no,
more stories, even just about Clay, man. So
yeah.
it's so many stories, man. And
We'll do it again for sure. There's
yes,
no
sir.
doubt.
Yes, sir. Man, I love that place, man. That's whatever I can do to help them be successful, whether it be a coach or training kids. I'm always be there for Clay. So,
Love it.
sir.
Well, let's end it right there. I appreciate you, T. West.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you, man. Have a great
Have a
day,
good
man.
one.
Yes, sir.
Bye.